action. Hey there, movie kings and queens. Welcome to episode 18 of the Real Gay Movie Show. I'm your host, Mike Lovins, and with me, as always, is my super incredible co-host, Ryan Provost.
Hey, Mike.
How are you, Ryan?
I feel like I'm doing better than you because you are on water right now, it looks like, and I am on my can of rosé again, so it looks like I'm a little more recovered from Pride weekend than you are.
Happy Pride, yeah.
I am getting a little bit of PTSD from drinking this, but I feel like the best way to detox sometimes is just to retox.
Best way to I've never heard that before.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
That's what you got to do.
And truth be told, this is just straight up vodka.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Fair. Well, you're retoxing a little bit better than me then.
All right. Well, listen, we do have one little bit of news for our newsreel segment this week. And then after that,
A little teeny newsreel.
we have a listener comment.
We do?
Yeah.
I love listener comments.
So first, with the newsreel.
Newsreel.
All right. So, Ryan,
Yeah.
did you know that there's a new John Travolta movie that came out this past
Oh,
weekend?
God. Gotti?
Gotti.
Gotti.
You got it.
Yeah. I don't think we're reviewing that one, are we?
No. So it earned a whopping $1.6 million for
Ooh.
opening weekend. And it earned...
I didn't know John Travolta had that many relatives.
Yeah, it's all of his scruff followers.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, and it also has the distinction of earning the very rare 0 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Stop, really?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, so...
Now I kind of want to see it.
So it was originally supposed to be released through Lionsgate, and they thought it was so bad they sold it back to the producers. So then it was released jointly through a company called Vertical, but the other partner in this was MoviePass.
Oh, really?
So we've kind of talked about MoviePass before and how, like, one of the things that they've been thinking about doing to subsidize their income was to get into other aspects of movie making and so forth. So should this be a sign to them that to maybe rethink getting into the movie production business?
I don't know. I think it brings a whole new meaning to the title Movie Pass because
Right.
It sounds like a lot of people took a very hard pass. On this one. So maybe that's what they're going for.
Maybe. But yeah, I saw that story and I was like, with the Movie Pass connection, I thought it was kind of worth mentioning.
Remember that movie that they filmed here, the John Travolta movie a couple years back that apparently was so bad that it didn't even get a theatrical release?
That's right, yeah.
It just got released like on demand.
which honestly they probably should have just done with this one.
I mean, might as
Or
well
just
have.
like not have released it at all. They probably would have made more money not releasing it at all.
Man, his career is such a roller coaster. Like, he had his big heyday back in the 70s, then it died down for a while, and then he had kind of a comeback in the 90s.
He kind of had a resurgence, but it seems like
then again
anymore no one's saying you're the one that I want.
Oh. Pass. Hard movie pass.
All right. So hey, we have a listener comment, like I said. So this is really cool. This comes from somebody who submitted a comment on iTunes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So the username is Umpboy, UMPBOY.
Was his H key not working?
Now. So he also gave us a 5-star rating. So
Nice.
yeah. So thank you.
I'll take it.
Boy. Yeah.
I'll take it, boy.
So here is what he had to say. Love the chemistry between the hosts and the gay takes on films, but not in an overbearing way. They explore unique and fun ideas of the films they review which is great to hear, and it's funny. They also give spoiler warnings, which is helpful.
We do. Sometimes Mike gets a little too upset about a movie and wants to spoil it before we give the warning. But usually we're pretty good. Did I catch it? Did he say that we are just gay enough and not too gay?
I think he mean.
I think that's in reference to you, because I have never gotten that comment before, ever.
I think he's referring to the gay takes that we put on the films, not trying to over gay them. I don't know.
Yeah, again, not something I've gotten a lot of comments on in my everyday life, but I do appreciate that. I mean, I'm just so totes mask. So mask.
Totes. Yeah,
I have to compartmentalize my gayness because I'm just so masculine.
Okay, well.
Speaking of masks.
Okay.
Guess what movie we're talking about tonight? I don't know. I was trying to do one of your transitions.
It was good. I like it.
You like that?
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of masks. Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Good. So we are talking about Incredibles 2.
Yeah. I was surprised. I thought it was The Incredibles 2, but there was no The.
There's no The.
It's just Incredibles 2.
And there's no The.
Or The. Are you a The or a The person?
The Empire. The.
I love how you even that went straight to Star Wars. Yep.
That's me.
I do believe that's vodka in your glass.
Would I lie to you? All right. So Incredibles 2.
Yeah.
Once again, written and directed by Brad Bird.
Great name, by the way.
Isn't it?
That would be a great alter ego name from like a comic book. You know, it has the alliteration like a lot of superhero alter egos have. Kind of references what could be a power, like flight or something.
Yeah, I was going to say
it's a strong name.
Yeah.
Great name.
Brad Bird, the Birdman.
I mean, there was that too.
Oh yeah, Birdman. So this movie picks up right where the last one left off.
Yeah.
But it's been 14 years in between the two movies.
Yeah.
So we do have most of the returning cast. Obviously they had to recast Dash because
his voice
14
broke.
years between. Yeah.
Yeah. I would hope so.
Right.
Good for him.
But so we got Craig T. Nelson, Holly Hunter, and Sam Jackson back. But then this time around, they brought in Bob Odenkirk and Catherine Keener.
Yeah.
So the character that Kathleen Keener plays, I thought she kind of looked like Helena Bonham Carter.
Is it because we just watched Ocean's 8 last week?
Maybe, but she just kind of had that jawline and the crazy hair.
A little.
But anyway, I thought they were both really good additions to the cast.
Sure. I'll be getting to one of them in my
Okay.
takes. I am a big Bob Odenkirk fan, though. I do like him a lot in a lot of what he does.
Are you a Better Call Saul watcher?
I actually haven't seen Better Call Saul. I have seen all of Breaking Bad.
Okay.
Which is one of the best shows I've ever seen in my entire life.
I haven't watched either.
Breaking Bad is pretty incredible. A little slow to catch on, but once it really gets going, it is very addicting and very fun. Definitely the kind of thing that people listening to a podcast about a children's movie should check out. But no, he's really good. I mean, he's one of those actors who's both really great in comedy, but also in dramatic roles. He does both very, very well.
You say kids movie, but I don't consider this to be a kids movie. I mean, really, even the first one, they deal with a lot of like grown-up things. I don't want to say adult themes because people take that the wrong way, but grown-up themes, but it's just in an animated, it's a kid-friendly movie.
Yeah.
But I would not consider this a kids movie.
For sure. I actually had the same thought as I was watching this movie, because I went actually right before we filmed. I I keep saying filmed. We don't film. We record.
Right.
But right before we recorded, I went to see this, and ton of families, ton of kids in the theater. In fact, there was an infantile human in the theater, and it would cry, and I would be confused on whether or not I was hearing Jack Jack cry or hearing the infant human in the audience cry, because there were times where it was either or. But I guess because this movie had a lot of an infant crying in it, it actually didn't bother me too much. But I did think that, because they even, I mean, some of the language they used, they threw in a hell and a crap.
Yeah. I noticed that.
I noticed both of those. And I usually don't notice foul language because I spit out quite a bit of it. But knowing that there were kids around and hearing a lot of kids' laughter during some of the jokes and some of the scenes, it did, some of the more grown-up themes really kind of hit me that, oh, this is really a lot more grown-up than maybe a lot of some of the other Pixar movies, and definitely any of the Disney movies.
Yeah, I think Pixar gets a little bit more of a pass to do that than say, Disney proper.
Yeah, I think Disney does give them a lot of free reign to kind of, I mean, they've earned that level of trust to kind of do what it is they want to do. And rightfully so. I think they should get that. They've certainly earned it. They have a very strong lineup of films. And
Disney has their more actual kid movies. I mean, if you're going to have two animation studios, you might as well do something that differentiates them enough to make it worthwhile.
Right. You got your Frozens and your Moanas on that side of things.
Right.
Because, I mean, has Pixar done a musical? I don't think they have.
No, and that's I think that's a big distinction too.
Right. It's a very different kind of story that Pixar tells. Obviously, they're all family friendly, but they are also made for, I feel like they are specifically made to appeal to adults as well.
Right.
Like, not even just, oh, we want adults not to be bored in this movie, but we want adults to enjoy it just as much as any kid would.
We want adults to be able to relate to the story that we're telling.
Exactly. Yeah. Which I really appreciate that, because I feel like before it was very distinct where, okay, if you're making an anime movie, it has to be for kids. And then Pixar kind of flipped that on its head with a lot of the early stuff they did.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, even a movie like Toy Story,
right?
That, just screams this is a movie for kids. It's toys that come alive, but some of the subject matter in that series, especially the third one,
it gets very dark.
It gets very dark. Yeah,
I mean, WALL-E, if you think about it, is one of the most disturbing movies that you could imagine watching.
Right, and that's definitely one where the message that it's trying to get across is going to go over kids' heads.
Right.
That is definitely directed right at adults.
Right. And there is not a movie that gets me more emotionally or makes me cry more than the first 15 minutes of Up.
Oh my God.
Like that, if that is not saying, hey kiddos, you're in for a good time, that is a gut punch of a start of a movie that is so adult in how it deals with love and loss,
right,
and everything. They just do it in such a great way, and even a movie like Inside Out that is maybe a little more directed at kids gets very emotional.
Right.
So very, very cool stuff that they do, including this one.
Yeah.
So what are your initial thoughts on it overall?
I loved it.
Yeah.
I walked out of there not quite sure if I liked the original better or this one.
Yeah, I went with my neighbor, and he was having the exact same kind of conversation with me as we were walking out of the theater. Like, I don't know which one I like more. And I just rewatched The Incredibles, or Incredibles, whichever it is. I just rewatched that this week. in preparation for seeing this movie, which I'm glad I did since it takes place right after. And I kind of feel the same way. I don't necessarily see one of them as being above the other in terms of quality. I certainly think there are things the first movie does better. I think there are things the second movie does better. And I think both of them, it's hard to point at things that are really bad.
Yeah. I think, no spoilers here yet, but I think the first one had a better villain.
Yes, I agree.
But I still got the motivation behind the villain that we had in this one. And I think I liked the family dynamic and progression a little bit more in this one.
I agree with the villain aspect because one of the things I liked about Syndrome in the first one is his motivations were directly tied to the main message of the movie.
Correct. Yeah.
Which was all about, people being special and people who are special being able to let what it is that's special about them shine bright.
Yeah.
And his plot line very much followed that. Whereas the main villain in this one, their motivations, while they make sense, don't necessarily correlate to what the Parr family is going through.
Yeah, right.
Like it doesn't tie into one big theme like the first movie did.
That makes sense. Yeah.
So I think that just made the villain in the first one more compelling.
Yeah.
For sure. And yeah, I think that certain members of the family in this one specifically, I would say, the mom, what's her name? Helen, Elastigirl, and Jack get much bigger roles to play in this one. And I feel like the other kids, Dash and Violet, don't get as much to do. Dash especially, he's kind of there, whereas in the first one he has, I feel like, a little bit more development.
I think that maybe because in the first one the other two kids had more of a time to shine, it was like, okay, well then in this one let's focus on other people in the family.
Which I liked. I loved Helen in this one. Elastigirl, I thought that she got to do some really cool things. I liked her plot line. I loved Jack's plot line. I thought that his progression, what they did with that character, was definitely a highlight of this movie for me. Whereas I think Violet's, little love story just wasn't that great to me. Didn't necessarily take away from the movie, but didn't really add anything that I thought was particularly interesting.
Before we get to, so did you have any other general thoughts about the?
While I think it was pretty much on par with the first one.
No pun intended.
I actually didn't intend that. If I were going to go back and rewatch one, I don't know which one I don't know. I don't know which one I would go back and rewatch. I feel like it almost feels like one big story instead of two separate movies.
It does. In fact, so they're putting out a Lego Incredibles video game.
Oh yeah.
And the game is both movies combined.
Oh, cool.
So you play through both of them.
Yeah.
Which I'm actually kind of wanting it, to be honest.
Yeah.
But one of the things I wanted to ask you is, did you happen to see any signs at the theater that you saw the movie at? Did you go to Lenox?
I did. Okay,
so did you see the signs there about the seizure warnings?
No, but I know what scene you're talking about.
Yeah. So and I found out that there were a lot of theaters that were posting these same signs by request of Disney, letting people know if you have a history of seizures and epilepsy that this movie might not be for you.
Well, one scene very specifically might not be for you. Like, I don't think you need to avoid the whole movie, but you definitely need to avoid
Yeah.
that one scene between Elastigirl and the villain, where they fight in a very seizure-inducing
Right.
environment.
Yeah. Anyway, I thought if that keeps some kids away from seeing this movie, it'd be kind of sad.
I don't think it kept many people away from this movie because did you see the box office?
Was it like 180 million or something?
$180 million, which destroyed the record for highest grossing animated movie by like 50 million.
Yeah.
I think Finding Dory was the previous record holder from a couple years back, and it was in like the 130s or something like that. So I don't think that warning kept too many people away.
No, definitely didn't. So let me ask you, tell me if you think that this gets into spoilers, and if it does, we'll wait. But I wanted to talk a little bit about Bao, the little short.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, we should definitely talk about Bao.
Okay. Let's talk about that, and then we're going to get into spoilers. So if you don't want to hear anything about the short film that, most Pixar movies, most people realize now
it's kind of a standard.
It's kind of a standard for Pixar. But so we're gonna talk a little bit about that, and then get into the spoilers of Incredibles 2.
Sounds great.
All right, cool.
Let's do it. Spoiler warning, effective immediately.
3, 2, 1.
Bam.
Spoil.
That's for you, boy.
How stinking cute was that?
It was adorable. I love the little short films they do before these. Although my favorite is still probably Lava. I really like that one.
Mine was the Paper Planes one.
Okay.
I really liked that. But I think the great thing about this one was that I didn't expect it to end up being basically a dream that she was having that was like a metaphor for
her relationship
with her son.
Yeah.
I thought that because at first it's just like a dumpling that comes to life. How weird is that?
Yeah.
And then it grows arms and legs. And,
yeah.
Anything in particular about that short stand out to you?
I mean, it got me a little emotional. Made me want to reach out to my mom and say hello and I love you and all that kind of stuff. Because I feel like a lot of kids, I see a lot of people who become like best friends with their parents as they get older, and their relationship kind of changes.
Yeah.
And they become friendly. And that is not at all the relationship I have with my parents. I love them and adore them and appreciate everything they've done for me, but we are very different people. And in some ways have grown apart while still maintaining a lot of love and affection for each other. We do not have any kind of like strained relationship or anything like that. We just don't have much of a it's not like a friendly relationship or anything. So I definitely kind of related as you saw, the mom and the dumpling kid, growing further and further apart as he was growing older. I think that this movie or this little short film kind of embraced that a little bit and almost said it's okay. It's not
right. It's human nature,
right?
Or dumpling nature,
right? And so it definitely tugged at my heartstrings in a little bit of a personal way.
And then she ate him.
And then she fucking ate him. My neighbor even called at one point. He turned to me. He goes, "She's gonna eat that fucking dumpling." And then she did. Oh God. So thanks, Mom, for not eating me when I was an annoying little bastard. I appreciate that. That was nice of you.
Yeah. But
what about you?
Oh, I thought it was really cute. I thought it was kind of, I know that they make these things way farther in advance than they actually get released, but I did think it was kind of funny that they on Father's Day weekend, and the short was about a mother.
Yeah, for sure. But it was good. Lava is still my favorite though. Lava makes me cry. That song is really cute.
It was cute, but to be honest with you, that one didn't resonate as much with me.
It hit my heartstrings. So, but damn it, Pixar, you get me good.
Right.
So spoilers for Incredibles 2.
So right after the short, was it before or after the short? I think that we got a little 2-minute intro from the cast and director.
Yeah.
Talking about, we know it's been 14 years.
Yeah.
We're sorry it took so long. I thought that was kind of cool.
I did. I don't typically like those little short messages that come before the start of movies, but I did like how they were kind of joking around about how long it took to make this movie.
Do you feel like it kind of takes you out of what you're about to see?
I just don't think it adds anything. Like, what's the purpose?
Right.
You know, this one was kind of cuter than most, but oftentimes it's always like, hey, thanks for coming to see my movie. We really worked hard on it and like it, and we're glad you chose to come.
See, I think that they've been doing a lot of that stuff recently, though, because it's basically a public service announcement against pirating. Because a lot of times they're saying, you know, there's a lot of people that went in that worked on this, and
I don't even think it's just against pirating. I think it's a lot because a lot of people don't go to movies anymore, and we'll just wait for them to come out on demand or on DVD. But yeah, so it doesn't really add much to me, and at worst, I think it kind of takes away a little bit. This one I thought was a little bit more on the cuter end of things, but still wasn't necessary. What I did like, I kind of liked, I think they've been doing it with a few films lately, but how the little castle for the Disney intro, they customize it to whatever the movie is, so it was very much stylized after.
It's like how we do our intros.
Yeah. Yes.
Customize it per episode.
Sure, it takes just as much time for us to do that. But I kind of like that. I know they did it with, like, I remember the live action Beauty and the Beast last year.
Yeah.
It was very much the same. Like, if the particular movie has a castle in it, they'll change it to the castle from that movie.
Did they do one for Big Hero 6? For some reason, I was thinking that...
I didn't see Big Hero 6. I don't know.
What?
I know.
All right.
But yeah, so they have started doing that, and I think that's a cute little touch.
Yeah, I agree. So like we said, this one takes place right after the first one. It was kind of interesting though how, you know, the last movie sets up this big showdown with this villain, but they don't actually capture him.
Yeah, he wins.
He wins. And that kind of, you know, sparks, you know, what happens with the rest of the movie. But do you like how the movie was really just a continuation of the first one, or would you I mean, it was its own story, but would you have rather there been some time between the movies, or did you like that that they were so close together?
I don't know. I think it could have worked well either way. What's interesting to me, and I'll get a little bit more into it maybe in my takes, but I think the fact that there was 14 years between movies, because obviously you can't do that with a live action movie. You can't have it be 14 years later and take place right after the first movie ended. I mean, maybe you could. You'd have to recast actors and all that kind of stuff.
Or lots of digital effects.
Right. So it was a little weird, I think, to have it take place right after because of that.
Yeah.
Because we're not used to that. I think it helps some that the animation is so good in the first Incredibles that it'd be interesting to see both movies back to back, because the animation is so good in this one. I wonder if it would look weird seeing them back to back. Like, I wonder how much we've come along in 14 years in terms of that animation, or did they hold? It doesn't seem like they held back in any advances that have been made, because there are parts of this movie that almost look real.
Yeah, the animation in this was
mind blowing. How good it was. I mean, that part may be a little jarring. And I think about the fact that as a big superhero movie fan, thinking of all the superhero movies that have come between Incredibles and this movie, the entire MCU,
right?
So 20 Marvel movies plus this shit show of a DC universe plus the Dark Knight trilogy,
right?
Plus the finishing. I mean, we've had 3 different iterations of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So
Fantastic Four.
2 different iterations of Fantastic Four. So there, and 2 different iterations of X-Men. I mean, there's been so much that's happened in terms of superhero movies as a genre between 2004 and 2018. I was maybe hoping that they would address that a little bit in this. Like maybe the central theme of this could have been something along the lines of addressing the oversaturation of superheroes.
Yeah.
Like there's so many, and this didn't talk about that at all. This really did kind of stick in its own little world. I think it would be interesting, and maybe in Incredibles 3 they could do it. But I think it could be interesting to talk about, maybe because there has been a lot of criticism about the overabundance of superhero movies in recent years. I know what James Cameron and Steven Spielberg have all talked about. It's a very prominent criticism that this franchise, if they continue it, could really tackle in an interesting way that I think Pixar uniquely could.
See, and actually that's something that I was going to bring up, was that I was going to say if there's an Incredibles 3, but I should say when there's an Incredibles 3.
I don't know that it didn't even crack 200 million, Mike. Are they even going to make any money off of this?
Oh, geez, I don't know.
I mean, how much of that had to go to Craig T. Nelson's check?
But seriously though, I would like to see them maybe move the third one several years into the future. Especially, okay, so this movie, by the end of this movie, supers are legal again.
Right.
So revisit the universe of the Incredibles after supers have been back into prominence for several years, and maybe and now so Jack is old, maybe he's Dash's age or something like that, and maybe Mr. Incredible and Elastigirl had retired, and they have to like come out of retirement to help save the world or something like that. But I'd like to see, bottom line is I'd like to see a little bit of a time gap between this one and the next one if they do a third one.
Yeah. Well, you know what storyline I would like to see, and they only like give us just a glimpse of it. I want to see like a full Edna and Jack adventure movie.
I have that in my notes.
Yeah.
Yes. So I do. In the vein of like Jack Attacks, the little short movie that they did with the babysitter and Jack in the first one, I would love to see a short made of the time that Edna was babysitting Jack.
Yes, I left the movie wanting to see that entire evening that she had with him. That's way more interesting than anything between Violet and that stupid boy. You know what I'm saying? Like that, I could only imagine how amazing that would have been. And if they're not making that short, then shame on them.
You know what? I mean, just because they did do that short with Jack and the first babysitter, I have to believe that, or else why wouldn't they have shown just a little bit of what they were doing that night? I think it's in the works.
I would hope so, because just thinking of the two, I mean, it's so weird to say this because one, it's a cartoon, and two, one of the characters is a baby who only talks in baby talk.
Right.
But the chemistry between those two characters was so strong. Like probably the best chemistry between any two characters in the movie.
Yeah. I loved it.
I did too. Oh gosh.
So going from strong characters though to weaker a little bit. We kind of mentioned this a little bit earlier, but so the villain in this movie was a little weak, I thought, but it served the purpose for the story and the catalyst for the family for what they were doing and stuff like that. But did you think it was a little predictable?
I definitely knew that one of them,
Yes.
the brother or the sister, were up to no good, if not both of them. If anything, I was a little surprised that the brother wasn't a part of it.
That's exactly, because I thought that the same thing. I thought that they were either both into it or it was just him. I was surprised to find out that it was the sister and that he actually had nothing to do with the plot. But
well, and I mean, it's kind of given away in the sister's name, Evelyn Dever, Evil Endeavor.
oh my God. Wow.
I mean, come on. I know, yeah, it's not necessarily it might not be the most like, as someone who appreciates a good drag name, that's such a drag name move.
There you go. There you go. Now I see how you found.
Like there has to be a drag queen out there named Evelyn Dever. I feel like.
If not, there is going to be now.
Right. But yeah, so a little play on words there.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
I just blew Mike's mind.
You did. I don't even often get blown that easily.
Oh gosh. Oh, I came up with a good drag name this weekend with my friends.
Evelyn Devers?
No, no, that was The Incredibles. So there's a drag queen named Adore Delano, who came to town. Well, and this probably already is one because I'm not that clever, but I think a good one would be Adore Knob.
Oh my God.
Maybe that can be the villain in Incredibles 3.
Oh my God.
There should be a drag queen villain in one of these.
Okay, well, that kind of gets me to one of my other points. We're working them transitions.
Oh. Sorry, this one might get a little gayer than usual.
No, so I thought that they kind of missed an opportunity to possibly introduce gay characters by when Elastigirl goes onto the boat and she meets all of those international superheroes. I kind of thought that
you didn't get a gay vibe from any of them? Because I got a gay vibe.
Well, I did. I did, but I would have liked to have seen a duo, like two guys or two girls that were like a superhero team, and be gay.
I mean, yeah, I think that electric one was just between relationships, probably.
Okay. So
she was a little too fierce for a partner, if you know what I mean.
And there was somebody else that I got a vibe from too, but we'll get to her.
Was it acid reflux?
Yes. Yes.
Granddaddy.
Yeah, he swallowed. Never mind.
Oh, let's just say you don't want her to spit.
Oh. So anywho.
Oh God.
Yeah, but with the way that as well as the movie does with doing, as we said earlier, more grown up kind of themes.
Yeah.
And doing it in a way that the kids kind of just understand the kids stuff, but then there's this stuff I think that they could have. This would have been a good one. I think that they could have introduced an actual out gay character without it, being too much for the children to understand.
For sure, it's gonna happen one of these days.
It's got to.
Yeah,
it's got to.
It's gots to.
Gots to.
Were there any of those new heroes that you particularly liked or did not like?
I mean, I thought Void was kind of cool.
Yeah, I liked her a lot.
One I particularly didn't care for was Brick.
Yeah,
It was just,
that was kind of a throwaway character a little bit, I felt like.
I mean, it was almost, as weird as this is going to sound, almost too cartoony.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Although I guess Reflux wasn't exactly.
But at least Reflux was a little, I felt like a little creative.
Yeah, and kind of and goofy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brick had the potential to be more goofy. As soon as I saw Brick, I was actually kind of I was like, ooh, what are they going to do with this character? What gag are they going to do to really get a good laugh out? And they never really did.
Nothing.
I never really got anything that was a big gag out of Brick.
But I think Void and Crunch or Crush, whatever his name was.
Yeah, I mean, I think the problem with a lot of those, with the exception of Void, I thought Void's superpower and Reflux, to be honest, were pretty unique and fun. The rest were kind of standard, kind of superpowers that you see all the time.
Yeah.
So I thought a little less creative than I would have hoped for from Pixar. Because, I mean, especially, I guess after seeing Domino and Deadpool 2, that was a very good use of a unique superpower in a comedic way that I thought was lacking some in this movie.
Now, what'd you think of the way that they used Samuel L. Jackson again, Frozone?
That was good. He definitely had a bigger role in this one. I think it was fine. I don't think he particularly stole the show, but he didn't take away from it either.
Yeah.
He's just a good kind of family friend character that doesn't add a whole lot to the movie, but it's fun. And I'm a Samuel L. Jackson fan. I think that he's one of those people that people really enjoy or people really don't. I land on the side of I really enjoy his shtick. I think it's good. I think it's funny. It always makes me happy. So I don't mind throwing Sam Jackson into a movie. I enjoy it. But I could see how if someone didn't like him would be like, why does the character even need to exist? This is annoying. This is stupid. I'm just not one of those people.
Yeah. I liked Frozone in this. It was good to still have like another established character from the first movie in this one.
Yeah, the one thing is his wife always gets these like funny little lines, and there was the one in the trailer that was so funny. The where are you going ASAP? You better get back ASAP.
Right.
That everyone always cracked up at, and then that was her only line in the actual movie too, which kind of bummed me out. I want more of that character, if anything. Why would you have this very funny character that's so good that her only line in the movie makes it into the trailers, the big last punchline as the trailer is going out?
Yeah, I mean, I guess being a character that you don't see, I don't know how much. Maybe they could have like had her call him.
Right.
And I thought you were going to be back ASAP.
I don't know, something more, just because that character was pretty funny.
Yeah.
At least the one line she got.
One line.
But she also had the same thing happen in the first Incredibles, where she was, kind of nagging him and stuff about he was looking for his super suit. It's like, damn it, woman, where'd you put my super suit?
Right.
Just that chemistry between those two characters, I think, lends itself to at least a few more gags in the movie.
Kind of has a Jefferson's vibe. I don't know if you ever saw that show or not.
Yeah, I did. Back in my Nick at Night days.
Nick at Night days, yeah.
So we talked a little bit about Pixar. Just we both really like what they do. Do you have any like rankings of your favorite Pixar movies? Where does this one fall?
Oh, wow.
Like kind of.
That's a tough on the spot question.
Yeah, like what are your favorite Pixar movies? Your go-tos?
Probably if I had to give like a quick top 5, it would probably be I don't know. I would almost put Incredibles and Incredibles 2 as one long movie.
Yeah. That's fair. I think that's fair.
And Toy Story, Up, and Monsters Inc. and Finding Nemo.
I was perfect age. I was like, I think 8 or 9 when the first Toy Story came out. So I was right around the perfect age to really get into Pixar when they started doing stuff. And so the first Toy Story has a really special place in my heart. Up, I think, is one of the most incredible movies. Was pretty close to being in my Fierce 5. Maybe even kind of like you with Incredibles and Incredibles 2 kind of together. Inside Out, and then maybe WALL-E. I don't know. It's so hard because they have so much good stuff. You know what's definitely not in there? Any of the Cars movies.
Yeah.
Those are not for me.
And there's a couple out there that are good, but they're like A Bug's Life, The Good Dinosaur. Those were both good, but to me, they don't hold the same kind of clout that some of the other Pixar movies. Like I still really like Ratatouille. It just doesn't make my top 5.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Even Pixar's worst movies are not bad. Their worst movies are fine.
I don't know. I think Cars 2 gets into.
I haven't seen Cars 2, so maybe that's why I have that opinion. But like probably the worst Pixar movie I've seen, because there are some I have not seen, I'll be real.
Yeah.
But the worst one I've seen maybe is Brave, and Brave I thought was fine.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. But this was definitely a solid entry into that. The other thing I want to mention real quick before we get into takes, some of the trailers that came before this movie. Can I tell you
how refreshing,
how great it was, if nothing else. And I didn't even think about it before going to this movie, but after getting through the trailers and not having a single Mission Impossible trailer, I raise my glass to that. Cheers. Thank God in heaven they didn't find a way to tie in that stupid movie into the stupid movie that I'm actually looking forward to.
Yeah.
But that stupid trailer.
The stupid trailer, yeah.
Into this. Thank God.
Well, I honestly didn't think that one would be there, but I thought there was a chance that Mamma Mia 2 could be.
Oh, thank God. And the only non-fully animated movie trailer in this one for me was the Christopher Robin movie.
Yep. And it's Disney, so...
Yeah. What do you think of that one? What are your thoughts?
Oh, I'm looking forward to it.
Really?
Yeah, I really am.
I gotta be real. I think it's gonna bomb.
I mean, it might, but we kind of talked about this in our most anticipated stuff.
Was it one of yours?
It was.
Okay. This was our first full look at the characters.
I can't remember if it was one of mine or an honorable mention.
We definitely talked about it, though.
But we definitely did talk about it. But I loved Pooh as a kid, and I love Ewan McGregor.
Sorry,
come on.
I'm so immature, Mike. You should have known better. You should have said Winnie. You should have said Winnie. You should know better.
I loved Winnie the Pooh as a kid.
There you go. I also don't see the need for another Grinch movie.
Oh, that one, no.
I
have no interest in that.
I don't see the need for that. I think all the Hotel Transylvania movies look like trash.
No interest in that one
including
either.
the new one. But the one I really liked that I am, after seeing the trailer now, really looking forward to is Ralph Breaks the Internet.
Oh my God, yes.
It looks so great. Especially, how it now is incorporating all the Disney universe
Star Wars,
in it.
Star Wars.
Had some bonus Star Wars for you this year. Some Star Wars, some all the Disney princesses.
Yeah.
I think that
that scene is so awesome.
Oh my gosh, yes. Oh my gosh, yes. But whereas Winnie the Pooh, I don't know who all that's gonna appeal to. This is gonna appeal to such a wide audience because if you're a Star Wars fan, you might be like, there's Star Wars in it. If you're a Disney fan, oh my gosh, all the Disney princesses in one place, you know? So I feel like that is going to, I think they're very smart to incorporate all of the Disney properties into this movie.
Yeah. And it works without feeling shoved in there, you know?
Yeah, I think that I think this could do very, very well and be I'm looking forward to it. It actually comes out the day before my birthday.
Yay!
So we'll get to have a little birthday episode for me and talk about Ralph breaking the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
We'll have cake.
Yeah. Or
just alcohol.
Well, a little both. But yeah, so a lot of trailers I had not seen yet in front of this movie, so that was exciting.
Yeah. Very cool.
So takes.
Let's get to our takes.
Let's take some takes on this movie.
With some cake.
No.
No, not yet.
No.
Cake yet. Okay, just a take. All right.
I'm just the Hotel Transylvania trailer had "Cake by the Ocean" as the song that was playing.
My God,
remember?
Yeah,
So I'm a little sour on cake at the moment.
All right, fair enough. No cake, just take. All right, gayest take.
So for me, the gayest take. So we talked a little bit about some other Pixar films, and I have to say my favorite character from the Pixar movies that I take to be a gay icon is definitely Edna.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like in the Pixar universe, she's about as close as we have to probably a gay icon.
Yeah. She didn't wind up being my gayest take, but was a contender.
Yeah. She's living the life we all want to live, being the high-end fashion designer for some sexy superheroes who fully hates children and wants nothing to do with them unless they are super interesting and different, who just always has her long cigarette.
Yeah.
Is calling everyone darling and has her own designer bag label.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved when Mr. Incredible was leaving, he
with
had
his little bag.
A bag.
That's what I was talking about. That killed me. I loved her little logo.
Yeah. Do you know who voices her?
That would be one Bradley Bird.
Yes.
I'll be getting to him later.
Okay. I didn't.
There's gonna be more Edna talk.
Okay.
Later for me.
I didn't realize that.
You didn't?
From the no, and I guess I just didn't pay attention to it enough the first time.
Here's the story behind that. So for a lot of these characters, when they're storyboarding and everything, sometimes some of the filmmakers, before they have them cast, will do a voice in place for them. So that's how he originally was voicing it, and they were working on casting someone else, and that person was Lily Tomlin.
Okay.
Lily Tomlin was supposed to be Edna, but then she heard the audio of Brad Bird and she said, "No, you have to do this."
That's awesome.
Yeah. And so that is how it came to be that Brad Bird is the voice of Edna.
Wonderful, darling.
It was supposed to be Lily Tomlin,
which I could see, but
yes, but this is so perfect.
Yeah,
it's iconic at this point.
It is.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that story. Well, so my gayest take is a character we've kind of already talked about a little bit, but Void, the character of Void.
Oh yeah. Thinks she's a lesbitron.
I do.
Yeah.
I definitely got a lesbian vibe from the character.
She seemed to have a little bit of a crush on Elastigirl, I think.
That is in my. I noted that. I said she was definitely crushing on Elastigirl.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end of the movie, she was definitely sparking up some conversation with Violet too.
Oh God.
So and I don't know the hairdo. I don't know. So she was voiced by Sophia Bush. But anyway, yeah. So that's my gayest take. I kind of got that vibe from Void.
Oh yeah. Okay. I see it.
Yeah, and and her power, it's kind of like a vagina. Things just go into the void.
No, stop it. I can't. That's not okay. You just ruined this movie for me.
What's your shadiest take besides what I just said?
Yeah, vagina power is definitely my shadiest take. No, just and we've talked about it a little bit, so I won't take a lot of time on it. But with this particular story and the way it picks up right after the movie, just why did they need 14 years to make this movie? Just what was so? Is that yours? But what I would get it if in this movie they address some of the things that have happened culturally, especially with the overabundance of superheroes, but they didn't do that at all. So because of that, why did we need to wait 14 years for this movie? And I guess in a way, like that's you know how they have backhanded compliments where you give a compliment, but it's also kind of shade.
Yeah.
This is kind of the opposite of that. Like it's shade, but really it's a compliment. Like it's so good. Why did you need 14 years to come out with it? It should have been here like 10 years ago.
I mean, I know there have been other.
What was Craig T. Nelson too busy? Whatever.
But yeah, I mean, if they could do two Cars sequels and 2 Toy Story sequels
and a Monsters Inc. and Finding Nemo sequel.
Yeah.
Why? This is the most obvious sequel to do. This is
especially given the current movie climate.
Exactly. It's the most franchisable Pixar movie, and it took the longest amount of time to make.
Yeah. They're looking at the money that's rolling in right now, and they're saying we are not waiting 14 years to do the next one.
Sure as shit hope not.
Right. Because I hate to say it, but I don't think there'll be a Craig T. Nelson in 14 years.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say a Mike Lovins. I'm like, whoa, Mike, that is very pessimistic of you. What are you doing with your life in the next 14 years?
No, I'm right there with you. That was my shadiest take too. Yeah.
Okay.
So then who slayed?
So, yeah, I said I was going to talk about it more. Brad Bird as Edna, both in the first Incredibles and then in this one too.
Yeah.
Just steals every scene she's in. I guess but like,
yeah.
But, you know, that character is probably the best Pixar character in my opinion. I love that character. I could watch a whole movie just about her. And like I said, now that I've seen that relationship between her and Jack Jack, all I could think about the rest of the movie was I want to see an entire, not even just a short, but an entire movie of, I want to see the rest of the family get kidnapped and Edna and Jack Jack having to save the day. Like that's all I want in the world.
That would be awesome.
And half the movie is her designing costumes.
Well, so ironically, my Slade is Jack Jack. I thought that little kid stole the show.
Oh yeah.
That raccoon scene.
That was the best.
Oh my God.
That was the best fight scene in the entire movie. Maybe the best fight scene in any superhero movie this year, at least, for sure.
It was amazing.
And there are a lot of raccoons in superhero movies these days.
I think that was Rocket.
Was it Rocket?
That was their crossover.
Yeah. No shade to Rocket, but Rocket didn't have any scene as good as this raccoon in Avengers.
The pure look of terror on that raccoon's face when it is strapped into that lawn chair and Jack Jack bursts into Human Torch flame.
Oh, it was so good, so funny. That scene was brilliant.
Yeah,
I think that may have been the scene of the movie.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
But I did note though that Edna came in a close second for me. There was I especially loved the scene where Robert goes back to pick up Jack Jack.
Yeah.
And Edna and Jack Jack are walking down the hall side by, and Robert's in the middle of them, but he's got his little sucker and he's imitating her, like holding the cigarette and just the way he's walking. Oh my God, that scene just melted my heart. I loved that.
I did too. I noticed that exact same thing and I was living for it because that was the exact moment when they were walking together. I was like, I need an entire movie with them.
Exactly. That was the exact moment that I thought, yes, we need at least a short film.
Yeah.
Yeah. I absolutely loved everything about that.
So good.
So for No Ma'am,
ours might be the same.
I'm going to cut to the chase. I don't have one.
Oh, you don't?
I don't. I could not come up with one.
Mine, and again, I have very nitpicky things, and so it's more about the character than the voice actor. But Catherine Keener just, I don't know, I just didn't do enough for me.
Okay.
She was fine, but I don't know if it's that she wasn't given enough to do with that character, or maybe she didn't take it in enough of a direction to make it good, but that character just fell a little flat for me.
Absolutely
It's still
fair.
fine.
No, I can see that.
Yeah, it's still fine. Still good, solid, but meh.
I think it's just I like Kathleen Keener so much that
Same.
She could have been a no man for me too, but I kind of gave her a pass.
But seeing her villainous turn in Get Out was leaps and bounds above her performance as a villain in this.
Very fair.
So maybe it's because I had such a vivid recollection of her villainy in that movie, and that, like, she was an iconic villain in that one with the teacup. This just kind of compared to that. So it's probably that. It's probably that she is so great as an actress and so awesome that I know what she's capable of, and feel like she was, if anything, maybe wasted a little bit in this one.
So hypothetically, if, like, let's say it was a Helena Bonham Carter or
also,
somebody else.
Catherine Keener, again, playing a villain whose focus is on hypnosis.
Oh, yeah. Do you think they did that on purpose?
I think this movie was in development before all that Get Out hype.
Maybe, but
these movies take a while.
But the voice work, I don't know. Maybe you're right. All right. Well, let's go ahead and give some ratings.
Okay, let's do it. Why don't you give yours first?
I went 4 reels.
Yeah.
I couldn't honestly think of a reason to go less. I loved this movie so much.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, just because, as I said, coming out of it, I thought it's a rare case of the sequel possibly being better than the original. Still not sure 100% where I fall on that yet, but yeah, I went 4 reels.
Yeah, this was very, very good, super solid. There was just something about it keeping me from 4 reels.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't give out a lot of 4s. I think I've given out 3 this year so far, and the 3 I gave out were for movies I thought were really, really, really strong. And this is a very, very strong movie, but maybe not quite on the level that I would have put those on. So I'm going to give it 3.5.
Okay.
Which, again, for me is super strong. That's a solid Get a Girl. Very, very good movie. Very close to amazing. I mean, it was amazing, but just not quite at that. It may be in the top 10 for me in the year, but it will be probably closer to 10 than to 1.
Okay.
Yeah. So 3.5 reels for me.
It's very, very good score still.
Yeah.
All right. Well, bottom line is, everybody, we enjoyed the movie and we think you should check it out. So,
for sure. Very good.
So now it's time for weekly recommendations.
Yes.
Ryan's favorite part of the show.
I love weekly recommendations.
Well, then I will let you give yours first.
Okay. Mine is, it's not as gay as my typical recommendation.
Okay.
But it is something I watched. So did you ever see Michelle Wolf's what's it called? White House Correspondents speech?
Oh, the comedian?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You did?
I did.
Okay. So I saw it and I thought it was truly outstanding. So I went and watched, she has a newer HBO comedy special called Nice Lady. And I watched that actually today as part of my Pride hangover recovery. And I really liked it. Her humor is pretty solid. I think her delivery takes it to another level that's even higher than the quality of the jokes she tells. She tells funny jokes, but something about just how she throws them out there, I really like, and I think is really funny. I've watched some of her. She actually has a new show on Netflix too that she does every week. It's a kind of set up similarly to a late night talk show.
Okay.
And I've watched a couple episodes of that. I feel like that show is still trying to get its footing, isn't quite what it can and will end up being, but is a solid premise. But her comedy special, Nice Lady on HBO, was super funny, really good. And I would definitely recommend that to anyone who enjoyed her Washington, White House correspondence set that she did. This is also good. Maybe a little less political, directly criticizing like the current administration and everything than that was, but definitely very funny.
Awesome. Well, as soon as you loan me your HBO Go account information, I will check that out.
Okay, well, Jill.
Okay, so mine this week is very local, so I apologize for anybody who's not nearby. But we are coming up on Comfest weekend here in Columbus.
That's right.
And I just want to I basically more of a shout out than a recommendation, I guess. I want to I've been a musician, I've played Comfest a few times, and it's such a great local event. We just had our Pride Festival, and that's certainly for everybody, but it's a little more focused on the LGBT community, whereas the Comfest, the community festival, is really for everybody. However, our lesbian listeners will probably enjoy it because there are so many women walking around without tops on. But
honestly, that's one of the only reasons I don't go to Comfest as much.
Too many boobs,
too many titties. But no, Comfest. That's what I love about this city is we have so many really unique things.
Yeah,
like I'm a little more on the Pride appreciation side of things than the Comfest appreciation side.
That's fair,
but I'll probably go stop by Comfest and check it out and get a secondhand high from all the craziness that people are doing.
Well, we go from, it's 3 weekends in a row that we have festival. Arts Fest, then Pride, and then Comfest.
Yeah.
And June is
if
just...
you like drugs and really trippy experiences, then Columbus in June.
Yeah.
It's the time for you.
But
you're not performing this year, are you?
I am not.
Okay.
But I have many friends who are, so I will certainly be out there when I can.
Well, do you want to give any shout outs to any of them performing?
No.
Okay. Absolutely not. I tried to help your friends out, but
no. So there actually a band called The Damn Thing that just opened up for my band this past weekend for our CD release show. They are playing Comfest.
Okay, cool.
So make sure you check out The Damn Thing.
Yeah. And it's in Goodale Park?
It's in Goodale Park, yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for this episode.
Wraps it up.
It was an incredible episode.
It was, wasn't it?
All right, yeah. So, all right, everybody. Here's the usual stuff. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Real Gay and Instagram at Real Gay Movie Show. Like our page on Facebook. Wherever you listen, iTunes, Stitcher, Google, YouTube, subscribe, give us some feedback. Just like
be like Ump Boy. Ump Boy knows what's going on.
Right.
He's a real friend. You need to be a real friend.
You need to be a real friend.
Yeah, like Ump Boy.
Like Ump Boy. All right, everybody.
Hey, Ump Boy, you single? You looking? I'm here. I'm available.
We're assuming Ump Boy actually is a boy.
And we're assuming that he umps. Which is why I'm throwing out there that I am single.
By the way, this episode will be released on Ump Day.
And Boy is no longer a listener of the show. He has revoked that 5-star rating.
Moving on.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Thank you very much for listening. That's going to do it for this week. Have a real
Gay
day.
day. Day.